Greenfield teacher is now looking for a new job after being denied a contract. Kimberly Morrison started out as a substitute teacher at Greenfield and is now an English teacher. Color 10's Sydney Moran is live in Greenfield detailing what led to the school board's decision not to renew her contract.
Heather Morrison says she received a letter from the superintendent stating she did not receive a renewal because of a handout she had her students fill out prior to reading a chapter in the book, Dear Martin.
I teach Dear Martin in contemporary lit.
Kimberly Morrison has used Dear Martin in her class before.
The main character is Justice, and he writes in a diary, if you will, to Martin Luther King. That's the Dear Martin part of it. So he sorts through his experiences as a minority in this mostly white preparatory school.
Morrison felt there was more students could learn from the book than years past.
One of the topics we discussed was racial privilege. There was a handout that kind of exemplified racial privilege.
The handout asked students several true or false questions. Morrison says she found the handout online and it was not used for grading or discussion purposes.
It was a pre-reading survey, your experience with racial privilege, as a pre-reading to a specific chapter in the book that was the subject or the theme of that chapter.
Around the end of February, Morrison says she heard from an administrator who asked about the worksheet.
Administrator notified me that there were concerns. She had fielded some complaints about this handout. She wanted to know the context of how this handout fit into what we were discussing. I told her. I thought that was the end of the discussion. 2 weeks later, she called me back in and said this is still an issue.
Morrison received a letter saying the school board decided not to renew her employment. A separate letter from the superintendent explained why, saying, quote, your decision to incorporate the worksheet associated with Dear Martin due to the content and subject matter. We reached out to the Greenfield superintendent. He said in an email, quote, I cannot specifically address this individual because it is a personnel matter. Morrison will continue to teach at Greenfield through the end of the year.
I'm still sorting through what my next step is. I thought I'd be here until I didn't want to be, until, so I haven't thought that through. I mean, obviously I'm looking for other jobs. Beyond that, I don't know.
Several cities have banned the Dear Martin book from classrooms, including locally in Monette. Reporting in Greenfield, Sydney Moran, Ozarks First.